Hello, this is the UTDesign project proposal for the Jonsson Connect app Phase 2. This is a mobile application that offers news, events, and jobs from the Jonsson School. And it features a cross-platform UI and provides specific relevant information that's generated by UT staff. The requirements are a clean, modern user interface and connecting via LinkedIn and providing up-to-date news and events. All of the stuff is already provided in phase 1 as the app exists today, so we'll get into details of what you'd be adding on here in a second. The deliverables are an actual straight-up mobile application in the iOS App Store and in the Google Play Store, the same as we can go and download on our phone now. And obviously, the skills we're looking for are going to be mobile application development, along with, of course, the UI and UX that goes with the things. Web services drive the world nowadays, so we are using a backend cloud storage. It's a Google Firebase that is interfaced with using REST calls and things of this nature. We're using Git source control, and we use OAuth into LinkedIn to validate users that come in. So you get to do some remote API auth calls as well. The tool set that we use is cross-platform. We have the exact same single code base that builds for iOS and Android. And in this particular case, what we're using is React Native, which basically will bundle up JavaScript, HTML, and CSS, things that are easy to work with, and turn them into actual real mobile applications. Using the native compiler. So this is going to produce Xcode projects and actual Android projects. So it's pretty cool. It's not like basic or anything. It uses the actual core UI that's part of your phones. So with this, you'll be designing, developing, and delivering an actual responsive mobile application that anyone and everyone can see in the App Store. It's actually pretty neat. In this particular case, you're going to be utilizing all the good stuff that's out there nowadays. Every kind of web service call, responsive design, all the things that you see in both websites and applications sit on basically the same type of back ends, and you'll get a chance to interface with those in this particular project. As I said earlier, we're using React Native in this case because it's something that enables you to take a single, easy to develop code base. Like if you want to make a tab, right, it's nothing more than a grid where you would have your box at the top that may have the title and an image, and then you've got a scrolling information thing in the center, right, that would show like news items and things like this. It's easy to develop that kind of thing in a standard way using HTML and JavaScript and CSS, and then have something interpret that into applications for you. So React Native was picked for phase 1 and is easy to set up and implement, so we don't have to worry about doing that. You're also going to get to do some build experience with this. Like you're going to need to bring up a command line to do these types of builds, and it will open up depending on the platform that you individual team member are building this thing on, be it iOS or Windows. It can open up an Android or an Xcode simulator and actually have you run the app and debug through it. It's really nice. It's really cool. It's easy to get going and backs up to Git and web services and everything else. You'd be surprised, you're actually using a lot of apps now that are built with React Native just like this, where you designed your logic and your interface using standard web technologies and turn it into a native application. So phase 1, as I mentioned, was a spring UTDesign project and was completed. We're test flighting the app now, so if you run out to look for it in the App Store, you're not going to see it yet. But it was completed and turned in. And mentions everything that we talked about so far. Responsive design. This thing runs on phones, it runs on tablets, it resizes itself. It's really nice. It's a first world tier 1 application. The way it stands now, we delivered the core functionality in phase 1, which was a news tab, which is the first thing that comes up, this little home tab down here on the left. And we have jobs and events that are data-driven, where the UTD staff actually puts those into Firebase, and the application reads from those. So again, pretty neat. What we're looking to do in phase 2 is to enhance the existing application. So instead of telling you, hey, there's an event at the Arboretum, it would be so much easier to utilize like the map API, like you can see here on the screen, and actually provide someone with an integrated Google or whatever service we end up going with, Open Maps or something. It'd be nice to be able to provide them a real pin on a map somewhere, maybe with some more information about it too, right? If we had the Google Arboretum page at the bottom, that would be helpful as well. We'd also like to see a calendar so that you're not just scrolling through, which is basically what phase one was. It just lists rather events sequentially from top to bottom, by date, and it'd be a lot easier to be able to scroll through a calendar and look for things. We also have an admin portal that could use some, it kind of looks like it came from phase one. It could use some updating. So you will also get some real world actual web design out of this as well. It's not just mobile app. We've got to be able to get the stuff in it. So there's a back end to it. One of the last things we'd like to see added to in phase two is some sort of reward system so that if you post a job or if you come to an event, do anything else, that we can talk to the business sponsors of this and see what else they'd like to have. Something along those lines that will enable you to earn, say whoosh bits when you show up to do things, or donate or what have you, and eventually you could trade those in for like a comic crate that would have a t-shirt or a pin or something like that. So feel free to get creative. I just captured what I thought was cool on here as far as the UI goes. We want something fun when it comes to rewards. And that's about it. It's a really interesting project. Phase one went really well and got very high marks and feedback from everyone else. So if you'd like to work on a mobile application, please consider us. Thanks.